Here we are going to discuss the difference between JSP, that is called as a Java server page, and Servlet of Internet Programming subject. Now, first of all, before discussing the difference between the JSP and Servlet, we must know the architecture of JSP, that is called as Java server page. The web server needs JSP engine, that is the container to process JSP pages. The JSP container is responsible for intercepting the request for the JSP pages. What I am going to repeat, the JSP container is responsible for intercepting the request for the JSP pages. That means the JSP container is very important role. It takes the vital role in a JSP architecture. Now, a JSP container works with the web server to provide a runtime environment and other services a JSP needs. It knows how to understand the special element that are the part of JSP. It shows the representations of JSP. We know that whenever we understand the JSP, it has the client and server request. Okay. First, the client send the request. What happened? First, client send the request to the server, and in request of that, server send the response. Server send the response to the client. Here you observe one database. Whenever processing of any file, server needs any informations that comes from the databases. Here you observe that the JSP file is stored here, where it observe the client and server. First, client send the request to the server. In request of that, server send the request to the client, which happen with the help of HTTP. Now, here we are going to discuss the JSPs and the Servlet difference. Here, first difference is that allows the tag-based programming so that extensive Java knowledge is not required. What happened in the JSP? JSP allows the tag-based programming. What happened? JSP is a tag-based programming, where the Servlet is not a tag-based programming. So, while using the Servlet, we required the knowledge of Java file. What required? While using the Servlet, we required the concept of the Java. That means programmer must know the Java knowledge. But when we use the JSP, where we don't require the Java knowledge, where we are going to work on the or allows the tag based programming. Okay. Now, when we consider the second point related to JSP, the suitable for both Java and programmer, where JSP is suitable for both Java programmer. Okay, but when we consider the Servlet, not suitable for Java programmer. JSP is suitable for the Java programmer and Servlet is not suitable for the Java programmer. When we consider the JSP, it has the total 9 implicit objects which can be used directly our JSP programs. When we consider the JSP, that is called as a Java server page, it has total 9 implicit objects which can directly use in our JSP programs. But where we consider the Servlet, the implicit objects are present but we cannot use directly. If we use it, we need to write the additional code to use them. That is the third difference between the Servlet and JSP. Now, next difference is that modification is done in JSP program will be recognized by underlying server automatically without reloading the web page applications. But where we consider the Servlet, here we need to compile and reload manually. Whatever happen in the Servlet, it must compile and reload manually. But when we consider the JSP, it takes care of exception handling. We know that what do we mean by exception, what are the unwanted error is there. We handling with the JSP handling the such types of exception. But in a case of the Servlet, it does not take care of exception handling. The programmer have to handle itself only. So this is a very important point we have discussed here. The JSP handle the exceptions, where the Servlet is not able to handle the such types of exceptions. The programmer have to explicitly handle such types of exceptions. Now, The next point here we are going to discuss allows to use the separate presentations logic, that is called as a HTML code from the Java code. Nothing go to business logic. Does not allowed here. If we consider the servlet where we does it not allowed here. If we consider the JSP, increase the reliability of the code because the tags. In JSP where we are going to use the tags, that's why it use the reliability of the code. But when we use the servlet, when we use the concept of the servlet, reliability of the servlet code is less. Now, if we consider the JSP, give build in JSP tag and also allows the developer to custom JSP tag and use third-party supplies tags. But when we consider the servlet, does not allow the tag-based programming. We already discussed in servlet, it does not allow the tag-based programming, where the JSP allowed the tag-based programming. Easy to learn and apply. What JSP is easy to learn and apply. Servlet is not easy compared to JSP. Both JSP and Servlet both are the object, but in a case of the JSP, we can use directly it. But when we use the servlet concept, we cannot use such types of object. What are the object we have? We cannot use. If we want to use it, we must add some code. We must add some additional code. We can say that in the servlet concept. Again, we have discussed in the JSP. JSP allows the tag-based programming. Okay, but in a case of servlet, it is not the tag-based programming. Okay, again JSP, when we use the JSP concept, the programmer are suitable for the both the Java and non-Java programmer. But when we consider the servlet, it is not suitable for the non-Java programmer. It must have the knowledge of basic Java. So that's related to JSP servlet. Thank you.